Welcome. In front of me is an Infinix 040, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this device. So to get started, let's open up our settings, and in here I'm going to start off with the personalization section right here, which allows you to customize a bunch of different things when it comes down to just the look of your device. We also have things like themes right here, though I don't have any and I'm not connected to network, so it won't allow me to get any more. But when you're connected to network, you can download more. As you can see, we have online options right here. Then we have, interestingly enough, a AI wallpaper generation, so you can basically generate unique wallpapers that no one else has. Along with just the choice of typical static wallpapers, but let's be honest, no one cares about those. We also have things like always on display section. With some other customization here as well. I'm kind of curious, what is this? My DIY, and nothing here. So it looks like you can actually create your own themes, as this is no themes. So that's pretty interesting. And I don't think any other device actually has that. This is all associated with the always on display. I'm looking if there is also the option to change the these kind of accent colors, but I don't see anything like that here. But you can change fonts. Again, if you download more, it looks like the device doesn't come with its own fonts, but you can obviously download them from things like, I think, Play Store, and you would be able to apply them in here. Now let's go back and then move over to the display and brightness. And here we have at the very top, light and dark mode. You can choose whichever one you want, but additionally you have the option to change it on a schedule, and you have option between sunset to sunrise or on a custom timer. So, oh, and there's actually a third option, turn on at bedtime. So that's another one actually unique to this device. I haven't seen this option on any other phone, so that's pretty neat. And it's also probably the most logical place to have your dark mode enabled, I would argue. Now, continuing on, we have, scroll down, color style. This allows you to choose the saturation of your display, and we have original colors or bright colors or colored. So bright colored is the more saturated one, original one is the more toned down version, which is what I will stick with, along with the option to change the color temperature at the bottom, and you can have more bluish or kind of like orange color, more reddish tints, as you can see. Now, if we go back to the display and brightness, we should also have somewhere in here, there we go, screen refresh rate. So we have a couple options, more than usual as well. We have 144, 120, 60, and auto switch. Now, when it comes to choosing one of those, by default the device has auto switch enabled, and for probably the majority of the people, this will be the best option. But if you don't see much of a difference when scrolling up and down, with, for instance, auto switch or 140 or 60, if they look the same to you in terms of the smoothness, choose 60. It will give you better battery life. The other options like 144 and 120, I wouldn't recommend choosing those, as this will force the device to run at this kind of refresh rate, while auto switch utilizes those refresh rates when you're scrolling, for instance, up and down, and have content that can utilize it. But when you have something like static image, like right now there is, nothing is moving on a screen, the device will automatically swap to a lower refresh rate, I believe even below 60, to preserve battery life. So it gives you the nice smooth refresh rate, but also tries to preserve battery life. Something that the 120 or 144 will not do, as it's going to permanently run at this refresh rate, no matter what is being displayed on a screen. And like I said, if you don't see much of a difference between the high refresh rates and things like 60, then choose 60. This will give you better battery life. Now, right here at the bottom, we also have a nice little redirect to system and navigation, and we have a couple methods of navigating. We have the gesture navigation and we have the 3-button navigation. Choose whichever one you prefer. I personally like the gesture navigation, so that's what I'm going to stick with. And then we also at the bottom have more settings, which allows you to increase or decrease the sensitivity of this kind of gesture, along with toggling of the voice assistant. I personally don't like it, as I sometimes just activate it by mistake, and it's this kind of...
For that, you'll need
this kind of gesture, so you can turn that off, and now you can see it doesn't work anymore. I genuinely don't use Google Assistant, so that is completely useless to me, and I sometimes would launch this even though I don't want to. So I like to just completely get rid of it. And now, unfortunately, as you've seen in that setting, there was nothing to hide or show the bar. On this device, it's hidden, so if you like to have this bar at the bottom, kind of like an iPhone does, you won't be able to show it here. It's just the way it comes, which I personally have no problem with this. It's kind of how I like it, as it gives me the nice clean look for the device. Now there's one more thing that I want to check. We have notifications and status bar, and we do have status bar section. Nice. So in here you can choose what will be visible in the status bar, as well as choose your notification method, which is just how the icons will be displayed, or even if you will have icons at all. So by default you will have something like 3 notifications or 4 notifications visible at a given moment, no matter how many notifications you actually have. This is the default option, and it looks like they also have the kind of monochromish looking icons, or you can have the normal application icon, or you can choose to show a number. So no matter how many notifications you have, now it will just show you always a number of how many there are, as well as just not having notifications at all. I personally like the number. It's clean while still retaining some kind of information for me. Now when it comes to other toggles right here, you can see that there is a heck a lot of them here, and what you can do is just toggle off some that you don't want to have visible. There's a bunch of those that, for instance, personally I have enabled permanently, like Bluetooth, so I wouldn't care to see the Bluetooth icon in the notifications, as I know it's enabled. It's on 100% of the time. So like I said, it just makes a cleaner look on the status bar while still having the Bluetooth enabled, which, there we go, now it's on. So now if I were to toggle it on, you can see we have the icon, and we can toggle it off from hiding while still being enabled. And you can do that for basically majority of the toggles. NFC is another one that I have permanently enabled. I don't care to see the actual icon there. So you can pick and choose which ones you want to show and which ones you don't. Now one last thing that I want to talk about is this barely visible panel right here. You can swipe it out, and this gives you access to some quick launching applications, and this panel is accessible to you no matter what you're doing. As you can see, you can tap on it, there we go, and it will open up an application in, skip the tutorial, in a pop-up view, which you can just move around. You can minimize it if you want to. That's maximizing it. Stop it with the tutorial. The device is a bit wonky, as you can possibly see. You can swap which one is on the forefront and which one is at the back. You can maximize it just on its own without the swapping. And it looks like, see, I believe we should have option to, oh, it just closed. Let's try that again. Okay, so it looks like there is no option to kind of make it into an up head, unfortunately, which is a nice option to have, but not present here. But you can see we have a couple applications, and I believe this should also allow you to split screen. If you hold it instead of tapping on it, you can drop on it and quick split screen. There you go. So anyway, this would conclude the tweaks and tricks I want to show you. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.